Mahila, I'll go ahead and show this. This is a creature, okay? We got the head up here, the body, and the feet, okay? So kind of the setup of the Revelation 13, but um, it's not really mobbing like that. It's just, this is the creature. Um, but maybe one day it will be mobbing like that. I don't know, but we'll see. Um, let's see here. You raise my head and bow my voice, and shamlock my poison. Alright, so erase my head and bowl my voice and shemlock my poison. That's the phrase, okay? On gematrinator.com. So you get 466 Jewish ordinal and 488 English ordinal. These are ciphers on the gematrinator. Now, squares, trigonal, primes, English, Sumerian, and Satanic, it's not witchcraft or anything. It's just these are different ways of looking at how it conquered evil, whatever you're talking about, the phrase, okay? Whoever it relates to. So, like for example, the squares is 7804, and then the Satanic is 1888. Okay, so what I got from those is like squares is like 5, or like Sardis. So odd of thieves on cross, like he was an Odysseus of the Janus the god Janus, of the thieves on the cross, and with Jesus. And they talk about that in James Bond Goldeneye. Now, the trigonal is like Thyatira or the Matrix Church, kind of like how they show it in the Keanu Reeves movies. But he got a bdellium of those. Okay, so that's like the Pison River. All the rivers are like the gravities, or like what your, like private part is kind of, and like the signal you send off. So he got bdellium, which is like, the Pison is kind of like Paul Walker. That was his cutoff. He was the 46 and 47 cutoff, and the gold is good with those. So everyone that goes through the industry and are martyrs, for Jesus, after they cut off, then like there's gold that you acquire, and diamonds and jewels and everything, and like so he got the bdellium. So and many people may have gotten it, it's just this is how they show it. So the primes is 1, which is like the Lost Brothers, and Dark Times, Empire, Tower, a flock. That just means he was the young one. like in this time of like basically in the 1500s, you had Jesus mobbing, doing his thing in the stars as a G church, which means he was like Legion in the Bible, like the strong man, but doing it through love, sort of thing. And like they show that big in the 1500s and 1600s, and that he was doing it through the stars, and now he does it through the earth, like all of our loads that we drop, like deposits in the toilet. Like Jesus collects all that, and like your signal that you're giving off, like not just like during the meal, or if you prayed or something before the meal. It doesn't mean that. It means like what you went through that day, Jesus knows based off that, because he's at the foundation of the world, with his ear up, hearing it all, and like seeing it all, like God's eye in the Fast and the Furious movies. So let's see. So he had to do the opposite of what it was. So that time in the 1500s was most likely that was the crow time. And now we're in the time of paradise, the two dimensionals of, Jesus is in the middle. So he's like Micah of those, and Micah in the Bible. So 29:28 English summer, he wound it up. He wound it up because the accusers you're burdens with. It's kind of like the Bedelium, but it's the burdens with the um, the martyrs, and like because the accuser accuses all them. That's what his name means, the accuser, and like he's accusing everyone that is with Jesus, basically, and stacking on burdens. So he wound it up, like it says in Isaiah 51. And then 1888, Satan, he judged Den Hook and Itch again, which he got the cowboy status of the Danny Glover Predator 2 film, which means that he basically was able to become a starseed, and that whatever he did and whatever he looked at would be counted as that he did it, as a Hindu arm, so to say, or the bend bow of the Matrix type, you know. And it's like your life will play out in someone else's life, but that'll be like the main part of their life, something that you did in one day, and vice versa. It just, that's how it plays out. So these are the numbers here of those ciphers. I know it looks kind of crazy on this paper. I should get a different paper, but just using this today. 1658 April, 2004 minus all those, and 22 April 1658, 1709 Feb 8, San Petronio Archives, Giuseppe Torelli. Listen to some of his music. It's pretty upbeat, so to say, but so that's the head. The body is Phocona sinus and Phyllosia magellanica, perfect mix humanoid. So take a look at that. Okay. So the feet, Paradise Lost by Milton was published in 1667. Now, September 29th was the first Carlist War. Okay. First Carlist War. Carlists lost when Portugal switched over to France and UK side in 1834. So it's not 1667. I just put that 29th there, but it's 1834 is when this stuff was going on. And so northern Spain, Carlos tried to Hannibal. Hannibal is like whatever happens that day, like it gets eased or something, or somebody might take away the prize because of the food that was eaten that day. It doesn't mean eating someone else. It means like what we call high quality food. It can have blood in it sometimes, and like it depends on where you're at. Like if you're at a really fancy restaurant, they might do that, and then it kind of like it subsides everything, whatever happened that day, but it also like can take away from the prize a little bit that was supposed to go on. Like it's just, or it can do the opposite, like, but they call it the Cain, and Cain didn't yield from the earth, but remember, like Jesus knows our hearts, and he knows, like, if you ate something that like he knows you, he knows you from your body. He's the Lord of hosts. He like a host, like in Prometheus film, like he knows what's going on in your body. Like he's very smart, like, so it doesn't mean if you're having high quality Italian food all the time, like it doesn't mean that, he doesn't hear you. It just means like you might not be yielding from the earth, like there's different divisions and stuff, but if your heart is there, then it's okay, because it's not what goes in, it's what comes out. And, that it's like buildups and stuff. So Navarrese, who knew land one, Marcelino Ora, true Brahma Filipinos, he put down that Marcelino Ora did. Very interesting there. Then Abdur Rahman Khan, who we've gone over before. 1880 to 1901 was his reign. Now 46 years is 1880 to 1834. Okay, so now, so 1880 to 1834 is 46 years. Now, this is Carlist. Okay, the Carlists, they lost. Okay, they lost to France and Spain. Or no, excuse me, France and England. Okay, with Portugal. Portugal joined late. Now, France, what was their problem with it all? They don't destroy many cars like in James Bond. That's their symbolism. They go to the guillotine like they try to be perfect in one life. So they're non-MASAW of the Samuel L. Jackson interpretation of those gods or the gargoyles. Like they're non-MASAW. Like they don't get wounded and have many lives with no Zion. They try to do it in one life like a Keat van, like a 43 Perfect DC. Then England is flooded. So they think that Jesus doesn't really hear them, and they're constantly flooded out, and Jesus judges them based off they're so emotional, and like lash out and stuff. Like they're more like, you know, um, like criminal nature almost. They're more like that than they